The point is that all these body positions and asanas and kriyas have been done since the beginning of time. We're dealing in like millions of years of human development, of living outside, of exercising the body. Before there was literature, before there was the written word. Remember that the body is the one that all the laws of the universe, the Torah, everything is inscribed within the body. So it's for us to find that. That's what the whole idea of the tree of life being man. And that everything is within you, which is obvious. Obvious when you think about it. In the Talmud it says that you learn the entire Torah in the womb. And an angel comes when you come out and taps you on the upper lip. And you forget your entire Torah. And you spend your whole life supposedly learning Torah, but it's really relearning, remembering what you were taught in the womb. So it's not a question that you're learning anything new. You're only remembering. You see? And so the point is, you know this. You know this from the beginning of time. And the thing that I'm now discovering, and which I think, is that the most important chakra, so to speak, the most important part of the body, well, now that I'm doing this body, Kabbalah body, you see, Kabbalah body as a spiritual discipline, and that the paths of the tree of life are these paths to the different sephirots and the different letters in the body. And so, what have I discovered now? Something that I've always known is that the most unconscious point in our body and in our psychology and unconscious is the belly button. Hebrew, it's called the Tibor. It's the center of the earth. It's the Eben Shatia, the foundation stone, which, as I've done before, is the gematria for this year. Eben Shatia, foundation stone. That foundation stone is found in the Beis Hamikdash, the temple in Jerusalem. And so now the Tibor, the center, where's the Tibor? It's the belly button. It's the most unconscious part, and it's associated with the mother, obviously, because you're attached through the umbilicus to the mother. Everybody feels that Judaism is, the circumcision on the 8th day. Well, you're still a Jew, even if you're not circumcised. You're Jewish if your mother is Jewish. It's passed down through the mother. So wouldn't it be not too surprising if the unconscious connection to Judaism and to the mother is through the belly button? But we never talk about this in Judaism or in anything in this society. And that's the whole thing. Since we are millions of years old and the yogis have been practicing this in this body consciousness, and because one of the reasons is because they're not literate. There's a body consciousness. So I'm not the first person to recognize the belly button. They call it the Nabi chakra, the Manipura chakra, but it's the Nabi, the belly button chakra. And as Kundalini rises and it comes to that chakra, that's the power chakra of the self. The energy chakra, the activation, being able to act within society. It's not a question of I don't want to and this and that. When that chakra opens, when the 10 petals open of that chakra and the inverted triangle as a center, you will do. It's not a question of conscious thought. It's a question of the unconscious being re-stimulated through the umbilical cord. Once this umbilical cord is re-stimulated, you will see that you're in touch with a collective unconscious. You're in touch with motherhood, not only your individual mother. You're in touch with a Talmudic thought of generations and of unconscious learning in general of the society. So what is it for us? Every time of society has different things to activate. These times now are to activate this center point. They call it the hara point and things like that. And they've given you the illusion that it's 2 inches below the belly button and inside. But always remember that all esoteric studies are a ruse. They never on the surface tell you the truth. You have to find it yourself. So they give you a spot that's slightly off. You see? No, it's 2 inches in there. But in Qigong also it's considered the belly button itself. So you find it for yourself. You see? This spot that's 2 inches below the belly button may be a union between the belly button and the genitals. You see? A spot between. Well, we'll see. You find it for yourself. In the meantime, because my Nabi chakra has been opened due to Kundalini rising and a lot of gematria that I have, you see, I associate the belly button with Tiferet. See, this hasn't been done before. Usually they think the Manipura chakra is a link between Netzach and Hod. But what I discovered this morning in my gematria is that Tiferet, which is 1081 in gematria, is the same gematria as Netzach and Hod when they're fully spelled out. The full potential of Netzach and Hod is found in Tiferet. And Tiferet splits down. Another thing about Tiferet is that it's 1081. That the numerics of 1080 are how Jewish people tell time. And the Aleph is the center of that. This is split down into Netzach and Hod, which is customarily thought of as the third chakra, and that the fourth chakra is Tiferet. But this is a complicated thing, which I'll explain. The center, which is Tiferet, the center of the body, is Tiferet. It's not the heart, it's the belly button. And this is what's been kept from you in the esoterics of Kabbalah. So when people think they're studying the tree of life and they know all the names, they know Kabbalah, they know Malkuth, they know Yesod, they know the center tree. Oh yes, I've heard of Da'as and Keter. You know nothing. unless you're able to localize it on your body. Unless you can localize these things in physical space. Not as some imaginary thing, not as some study, and raise your hand and say, oh, teacher, yes. Yes, Yesod is the ninth Sephirot. And you look to see if you're right. Then the teacher says, yes, you're right. Oh, yeah, I know Teferet. I know Yesod. I know Malkuth. Yeah, knows the name. And then they know the numbers. Oh, yes, you know more. Because you know Yesod is 80 in Gematria. And 80 is the letter Pei. And so the letter Pei has to do with Yesod, which it does. But until you know why, and until you can localize it on the body, you know nothing. And until you know why the Pei is the numerology, the gematria of Yesod, you know nothing. Do you know that in your body? Do you know that as to why? And until you do, you're fooling yourself. You see? So here's what I'm telling you. I'm going to give you an exercise how to get in touch with, if not the collective unconscious, get in touch with memories of your mother. You take the middle finger. Remember this finger? Which happens to be the third chakra in the yogi's hand. And there are other things about this Nabi, we'll call it Nabu. Doesn't matter what you call it, does it? Doesn't matter what name you call it when your body knows it. And this is a deep, deep thing in Masechta Nazir. So when you study Nazir, it doesn't matter what you call it. You see? And it's the same thing here. Boo, 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 boo. Doesn't matter what you call it when your body feels it. So take this third chakra and rub it in the belly button. Rub it in the belly button. Now, they have plenty of things. Go check the internet. You're not going to see this. They have rubbing it in 9 directions, 8 directions plus a middle. You do all that, but what are we really doing here? We're stimulating the Manipura chakra, the Nabi chakra. You see, Yabi Kriya here. And stimulate right, do it in both directions. Tell me how you feel. See how you feel. What are you doing? This is the umbilicus. You haven't really touched this since you were born. When it became frozen, when they cut it. You haven't been thinking of this. See? You've been thinking of all the things they've been teaching you. What year was the American Revolution? What did the presidents have at their first dinners? See? So we're going to get in touch with this belly button, with this umbilicus, with the T-bore, with the center of the body, where all movement comes from. It goes up and down from the center. You see? What relation does this have? Well, just do it for 10 seconds. Then do it the other way. See? Well, that's pretty simple. To activate a chakra, to activate a Sephirot, to activate the center of the body, to activate Teferet, from which everything spreads out. Remember that the gut is now considered a second brain. What do they call it? The etheric brain. The gut's considered a second brain. You have an intuitive brain in your body. See? It's not just in the skull. It's also in the gut. You see? That's where all your instincts come from. Sexual instincts, eating instincts, defecation, liver, all these things that are beyond your intellectual understanding. Get in touch with the second body, and that's Tiferet. See? If you think of it as lower than Tiferet and not on Tiferet, you'll never get it. Tiferet, which is considered second thing, but only from intellectual point of view. A lower world comes, and Tiferet becomes the Keter of a lower world. But localize it on the body. Until you do, you're only kidding. You're an intellect, a cosmopolitan, a European, but you're out of touch. You see? You're out of touch with the real, with the mamish. With the mamish as the mother. We only start in, so to speak, 8 days later. We started in, if you really want to know, the sperm comes down from the head of the father into the yesod, and it starts 72 days before the intercourse and before the pregnancy. 72 days. And then we have 9 months of pregnancy, plus the 72 days. Hey, voila! It's a year. So we started in the male 72 days before, but we've spent 9 months in the female developing. And that's the umbilicus. And what are we doing about it? We are lost touch with it. And so what we're doing is getting back in touch with the unconscious that we had in the womb when we were learning everything. And as you know, there are plenty of stories about, these righteous women that used to sit near the places of study and hear the Talmud being studied and all that. Why? They'd sit outside so that the child could hear the studies. The child in the womb could hear the studies. And that's how they develop a high-level child in the womb. And so that's what we're going to get in touch with when we're rubbing the umbilical cord. And I hope you do this. I hope you start, because you'll see a very interesting development within you in a very short time when you recognize Tiferet and the umbilicus as the center of your body.